finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life.
Hey, my beautiful butterflies, it's your girl Quiana, and I am back with another video as promised. Okay, so my last video, I told you guys that I was going to give you a little bit of my background, so I'm going to do that, which also ties into the topic of this video, which is it didn't happen overnight. Okay, so just to start off, I just want to let you know of my drugs of choice, which was marijuana and alcohol. My marijuana usage was, it started out as being like social use. I never really messed with really anything in my younger years. I started most of my abuse when I became a full blown adult, which was part of my mindset, my mind frame. I'm an adult, I do what the fuck I want, da 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 da. I'm grown with kids, that bull crap. But anyway, so when I, was using the marijuana, like I said, it started out socially. Then, I gradually moved to, okay, well, I'm going to, get some on my own. I'm going to do it, whenever I want to, keep a stash. At first I was hiding it. Then, I became very sloppy, which is how I realized that my addiction was taking over in a lot of different ways, not only with the marijuana, but especially with the alcohol, which is really my drug of choice. Alcohol was my actual main drug of choice. Some people don't think that alcohol is a drug. It is. Alcohol is a drug. It is. So I would basically choose wine. I will drink bottles and bottles and bottles of wine a day. I will mix that with hard liquor, which was not a good mixture at all. It was to the point where I was pretty much drinking it like juice. I didn't drink anything else. I was hiding bottles from my husband, my children, myself. They were all around the house in almost every room, except my children's room. They were in the car. I was hiding it in the car. I was hiding, like, it was ridiculous. I was, like I said, in the beginning, I would hide how much I was drinking. Then it got to the point where I just didn't care. I was just blatantly drinking and driving, um, doing some very stupid, dangerous stuff. I got to the point where I knew I was bottling up some stuff that I didn't want to face. I had some issues that I was not willing to address. Mental issues, all physical, all that stuff. Um, I got to the point where I knew that I needed help when one night I drank so much to the point where I believe I almost had alcohol poisoning. I couldn't function. I couldn't think. I was shaking. I was convulsing. I was throwing up. My husband eventually, I think, realized what was happening to me that night, that whole night. He pretty much held me while I was crying. I really didn't think that I was going to make it the next day. I didn't think that I was going to make it through the night. That's pretty much how bad it was. I always wanted to stop, but I just couldn't. I prayed, I cried, like there were many nights I cried and I prayed, like asking God to take the urge, the thought, the taste away from me. And I just, I couldn't do it on my own. I didn't reach out to get help. But that next day after that episode, I did. When I woke up that next day, I don't even remember if I went to sleep, but I remember that next day I was like, I can't feel that again. I can't go through what I went through. I literally was about to die. So I picked up the phone. My husband and I were searching the internet, and we came across some rehab facilities. I came across this one rehab facility that I was stuck on. I wanted to make sure I got into that one. I wanted to get into any rehab. However, that one right there, I knew I had to get into it. For some reason, I don't know why. I don't know what drew me to this facility, but I was like, I'm gonna be sad if I don't go to this specific place. So I called around to a lot of different places. They did their assessments. The one facility that I'm speaking of is Summer Lake Rehabilitation Center. It is in Ditmer, Missouri, and it took them about 24 to 48 hours to let me know that they were able to admit me. And it wasn't on their end. It was, my insurance. It's a little different insurance company. It's a smaller company. And, they just, had to make sure everything panned out. Everything did. And when I tell you guys, I was so happy when they called and said that they were able to go ahead and admit me and get me in. Once we had discussed that, my husband and I had made plans to speak with my children. We let them know that I was going into rehab. I only let three other people know, three of my close friends, which were prayer warriors, and I knew that they would have my back and not put my business out there, because at that time I just wanted to go ahead, get in, get the help that I needed, and I really didn't want to talk to anyone. So my husband and my youngest daughter drove me to the facility. That was, I think, the longest hour and a few minutes that I think I've ever experienced in my life. I was crying, I was nervous. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to talk to anybody. I'm not going to have my phone. I'm not going to be able to look at the internet and all that other kind of stuff, which is actually was a wonderful idea. That was the best, because I was able to focus on myself and my recovery. We did have phone time every day. So, for a few minutes a day, we were able to, speak with our family and friends and stuff like that. But for the most part, it was just you and your recovery. That's what you needed to focus on. So when I got to the facility, we said our goodbyes, our hugs, and of course, I'm like the color purple and all that kind of stuff. Didn't want to leave, but they were so welcoming. The staff was amazing. The facility was clean, neat, organized. I was scared. I didn't know what I was going to walk into. I did not know. I didn't expect for them to take a picture of me when I got there. I call it a mug shot. I think they still have that picture to this day. But anyway, they had me come in. We did another assessment, and they went through the proper procedures and protocol and stuff like that. Made me feel so welcome, so at ease with the decision that I made. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So I was there at the facility for okay, so what happens is that when you get there, um, my treatment, I was going to do detox for 7 days. And then after detox, then do the rest of the time um, with the actual rehabilitation. So again, 7 days detox, and then the remainder of the stay, the rehabilitation. So my third day, into my detox treatment, something was wrong. I didn't know exactly what was wrong, but something was wrong with me. I woke up, it was, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not quite sure. I know it was like early in the morning, drenched, wet, didn't know what was going on. I actually thought that, I used it on myself. I thought that, I peed on myself. I wasn't sure. I made my way to the nurse's station, which was pretty much right outside of my room, and I asked them for help. I was like, I don't know what's going on. My bed is like wet. Can you help me change my linen? I think I peed on myself. When the nurses went to the room, and actually when they saw me, they was like, no, it's something going on with you. That's not pee. That's perspiration. You're sweating, like you're drenched in sweat, like your whole body. My bed was soaked. um when, as we were talking, I wasn't feeling well, and the last thing that I remember was them telling me that I was full of sweat. The next thing that I remember was waking up in the hospital bed. Um, I had a stroke. I had a stroke due to the combination of me detoxing and my migraines. I have migraines. I've had migraines my whole life, but my body went into shock with all of that was going on with me. Now, mind you, I was trying, and I said to myself that I was going to try to detox at home before I decided to go into a rehab facility. Had I decided to do that at home, I probably wouldn't be here today. I woke up in the hospital, whole left side paralyzed. I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk. It was very scary. They had to reteach me how to talk. I left the hospital in a wheelchair. Like I said, I couldn't walk. The rehab facility thought that I was going to go home, and that could have been my excuse. That could have been my reason, my excuse to go home and not complete the treatment. Because again, mind you, I'm 3 days in. I'm scared. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Yeah, they made me feel comfortable and welcoming and all that other kind of stuff, but that's still, something scary. However, I promised myself and I swore to myself I would never, never feel that way again. And I'm going to do whatever it took to get the help that I needed. So when I was being discharged, they were asking me where did I want to go, and I said I want to go back to the rehab facility. Um, the rehab facility was so excited. They were ecstatic because I chose to continue my treatment. They helped me out so much. They helped me walk again. There was, or still is, a a coach there. She is into fitness. Her name is Moni. Moni is the best. She helped me actually walk again. We had acupuncture there. We had yoga there. We have stretching in addition to our other classes that I will get into. But Moni actually came to my room and did the physical therapy with me. She brought the person that did acupuncture to my room and had them do the acupuncture. And when I tell y'all, that was the best. That was my first. Oh my God. But anyway, so they actually helped me not only mentally but physically get back together. Within about a few weeks, I was walking. I had a walker, but I was walking. And again, I was determined to work on not only my mental but my physical. I was gonna get this thing together. So during the stay at Sauna Lake, um, we have classes and groups that educate you on addiction. They give you the understanding and the background as to what is going on, and they let you know and they teach us that, or taught us that it is a disease. Addiction is a disease, and it is. They had us to understand what was going on and why we were doing the things that we were doing and how to prevent going that route. Because you're going to still have your ups and downs. You're still going to have like your depression and all of that stuff. But how are you going to deal with that? What are you going to do to handle that in a healthy way? In a healthy way. So we learned all of that. We had big groups, we had small groups, we had one-on-ones with our counselors and our psychiatrists. We had groups for women, we had groups for men. So when I tell you that the facility that I was in was amazing, they opened me up to realize that this didn't happen overnight. What I'm going through, what I went through was very traumatizing, and I was hiding from um, what happened to me when I was younger. And I was still living with that, even though I was like, I'm over it. And no, I wasn't. I talked about things that I probably would never talk about, but it helped me. It helped me with where I'm at now because it allowed for me to free myself from that bondage that I was in. So rehab isn't only for me wasn't only about just getting clean. It was also about getting free, the mental, the psyche. So I am forever thankful for Sana Lake and for the rehab facility and for my family and for my prayer warriors and for being there in the support system because mind you, I almost died twice in 1 week. The night that I went through all of that, the alcohol, um, just like the, everything that I was feeling, like the the I really do think that I was had alcohol poisoning, and I didn't think that I was going to make it the next day. I was pretty much almost there, and then the day that I had the stroke. So Sana Lake actually saved my life twice in 1 week, and I'm so grateful for them. Um, but I am here to let you all know that what you're going through um, didn't happen overnight. You didn't wake up feeling this way. You didn't wake up in a funk. You didn't wake up discouraged or feeling like you need to numb whatever it is. So it's something that you will need to address to get better, to get to where you need to be. Your recovery isn't going to happen overnight. I'm still in recovery. I'm going to continue to be in recovery. I'm going to continue to go to meetings and groups. And we have our weekly, every Saturday, there's an event with the facility that I am a part of. It's called Members for Life. So we have something every week. And I'm going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue to reach out to my sober community. The sober community is one of the best communities out there because they get me and I get them. My family gets me, um, but the sober community actually understands when I say, "Oh my God, I need a fucking drink," like for real. Like I'm not gonna get one, but and then I don't get one. They like, okay, yeah, I get it. I'm gonna have to deal with that for the rest of my life, and it's okay. I'm okay as long as I have the right support system with my family, my friends, and especially with my sober community. I'm gonna be okay, and you will too. Just know that your recovery is a journey. It is a process. Um, we are going to talk about in future videos coping mechanisms, grounding techniques, and all that good stuff. So thank you very much for sticking with me through this video. I love you so much. I appreciate every single thing that you're doing. Love on me, because I'm going to love on you. Have a good one.
I want you to have it all.